Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. This week's review of Snowfall Season 2, Episode 7. Let's get into it. So we got Franklin. The episode starts off with Franklin and his crew. This settings again is based in the 80s. So they're in the movie theater watching Scarface, the movie that came out in the 80s, starring Al Pacino, a urban classic gangster movie with drug cartels. So they're watching that, getting inspired. So after the movie theater, Franklin and his crew, Franklin drives his crew out to the beach, and they're just reminiscing on times. And he's pretty much telling them, like, his plan is to have them running their own empire and running their own division and doing their own thing. They just gotta wait time as the plan unfolds. So Leon, which I think is like his cousin, which is part of his crew, he's pretty much with it. He looks up to Franklin. But his other homie, Kevin, of course, in the previous episode, he was approached by Lucille and Gustavo about having him teach them how the ingredients on how to cook the crack so they can start their own product and save their lives with the cartel boss that they got problems with. So from there, it switches to Teddy and his situation. Teddy has found out that it's the DEA who's on his tail, so he pretty much reaches out to the DEA, an anonymous call telling them to back off. He doesn't want the undercover perk that they have to get hurt. So the DEA spoke to the undercover girl, tells her basically like, yo, I'm pulling you out because this person knows that you're undercover. Whoever that they connected to, they know too much. I'm pulling you out. And furthermore, you had 24, 40 hours anyway, and you didn't come up with nothing. So Teddy then, he's going to, he stopped all of his shipments with everybody because of, he had to find, because the heat that's on him. So he stopped all his shipments. So he links up with Franklin, tell Franklin the shipment's going to be cut off for a bit until he get things rectified. And so Franklin's telling him he's looking to expand, teach the product. He didn't create the product. He knows how to do it. He's saying, well, I'm gonna distribute it. I'm gonna show it the rest of the world and expand this so we can make more money. So Teddy's looking at it, not too enthused, but he like, okay, well, I have the product. But Teddy's also looking at it like, when you expand the product, expand like that, becoming bigger creates more problems. So Teddy then links up with his brother Matt, and they get ready to take a trip. But in the process of them taking a trip, the Mexican cartel approaches them, where they shows up to where they was, and they was surprised. The Mexican cartels pretty much tell Teddy he gonna take the trip by himself, and if he don't come back correct, something's gonna happen to his brother. It switches to Lucille and Gustavo. So Lucille and Gustavo is trying to figure out what they're gonna do with the Mexican cartel woman and her crew, and they know that Pedro's girlfriend is the DEA undercover agent. So they do figure out a plan how they would deal with the situation. So Gustavo, of course, tells her, well, what you going to do with Pedro, pretty much. So Lucille and Gustavo reaches out to Franklin's boy again, letting him know, like, yo, whether you going to have to tell us something or not, the time is now. So Franklin they have a party attends a party, and at this party, it's Leon's girlfriend's party, and Leon's girlfriend has been cooking the product, but she's been using the product too, which is not good, because never get high off your own supply, and then you can't trust a person like that that's getting high off of the product. So Franklin is disgusted, and he kind of like voices his opinion to her. So Leon was like, you pretty much you didn't have to diss her in front of her family. And so Kevin is there too, and Kevin says, hey, you shouldn't have did that. And so Franklin pretty much said, F her. I'll pretty much, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? She using a product or whatever. So that was the trigger for Kevin pretty much to say, I need to branch off. I need to be my own boss. So Kevin, at that point, agrees to meet up with Lucille and Gustavo to teach them the ingredients and show them how to make the crack. Lucille and Gustavo figures out a plan that they said that the Mexican boss will only meet with family, and the FBI agent and Gustavo will stay behind and wait for the shipment. So when Lucille and Pedro goes to the meet, it's really not a meet. It's really to kill Pedro. And so Lucille really doesn't want to do it, so she pulls the gun, and she tells her that she's an agent. His girlfriend's an agent or whatever. And then he pretty much confesses that, he went on his own accord, went into the police station in Dallas and told them what was what, and that he pretty much wanted revenge for what she did to his father. However, the way she's looking at it, well, you dined me out to your father, you know what I'm saying? So, so she shot him first in his stomach or whatever, and then he pretty much said, whatever, like, your heart is black, and you know what I'm saying, ever since you witnessed your people's getting killed when you were younger, and this would be on your hands pretty much. And she kills her cousin Pedro, and then she cries, and that's it there. So what's been transpiring, Franklin's uncle Jerome, his girlfriend Aunt Louie, left him a few episodes ago. He really loved her, but she wanted more. And Franklin earlier on told her he would get that club that her old girlfriend used to have. So the old girlfriend pretty much has been whining and dining her and made her leave Jerome. And so, but what's happening is the girlfriend that owns the club, that knows about Franklin's operation, she is belittling Aunt Louie too. She's not really respecting her. And it's hard to respect somebody that's really not. Aunt Louie, at least with Franklin and them, she had a position. She was the cook. But with the girlfriend, the woman that owns the club, she doesn't have no real position. That woman's name is Claudia, that owns the club, and she has no real position. She's just sitting back chilling and in a club. And so what she did was she's getting spoiled with gifts, and she made a decision to allow somebody she knew from the neighborhood to host a party there at Claudia's club. And Claudia is a boss, so she don't like nobody undermining her or making decisions without her consent. So when that took place, she felt some type way that Aunt Louie did that, and so she belittled Aunt Louie in front of Aunt Louie's guests, pretty much checking her, paying her in her place, like, you under me, and you know, you pretty much don't make no decisions like that. So Aunt Louie, after the event was over, approached her like, yo, what was that about? Why you play me out like that in front of my peoples? And then she pretty much saying like, I own you, I made you, whatever, degrading stuff. So she took offense, and she like, forget it, I'm out of here. So they began to fight, cat fight, going back and forth, and no one's there to break it up, so they're just going at it. And Aunt Louie takes a bottle and busts Claudia in the head with the bottle, and then pushes her against the bar thing. And I don't know if she knocked her out or she killed her. Right now, I don't know, because it doesn't really say like if she killed her or she knocked her out. But a blow like that, more likely she might be dead. So Aunt Louie is frantic, and she calls who, Jerome, who she diff. Of course, he loves her, so he's gonna come. So she asks him, I need you to come right now. I need you. And he pretty much comes. And so from there, you had the scene where Franklin's father and mother, the father was a homeless old vet, used to be in the Panthers, now he been in the drugs, running the streets, slumming in the streets. So the mom stepped up and let him come back in the house. And the mom doesn't approve what Franklin has been doing, so she doesn't really want nothing to do with Franklin's money. So she's falling down on hard times. And so the house was getting foreclosured and everything like that. So she didn't want to receive no help from Franklin. So the father benefits from the vet came in. And so he told her once his benefits come through, he would look out. So when the benefits came in, he gave her the money, gave her the check for her to go pay the mortgage and get them back straight. So when she goes to pay the mortgage, the bank teller tells her that her house is paid off. And she was frustrated because Franklin has been doing business with the other bank, where his drug money is being washed and money laundered, where it looks like he got a big corporation in another country somewhere, and he paid his mom's house through that offshore account. And so she's upset, she's furious, because she didn't want her house paid off or receive no type money from him, drug money or whatever. So she's furious with that. She gave the dad back his check because it was no need for it, because the house is paid off. So she's upset and she's bothered by that. So we're going to see how that transpires with that situation. So right now, this was another good episode. Snowfall started off struggling, but this was a good episode. And this episode 7 the season normally goes like 10 episodes or something like that. So probably about 3 more episodes, I think. And this episode was pretty much called The World Is Yours. That's like a saying from the movie Scarface. So stay tuned to next week. Review, recap. Stay connected. Subscribe and like. Comment if you want to. Share the video. Till the next time.